It's too late.
Please. You can't just keep saying because it's in the title.
I thought that the ER then.
Yeah, do that one.
I will not.
I will.
What's up, y'all? I'm Ali.
And I'm Maya.
Together, we're on a journey to break down racial stereotypes, encourage Black positivity, and celebrate excellence.
We amplify the voices and stories that shape the Black identity, culture, and history.
This is Diary of an... Alright, anyway. Alright, cool. So for our first podcast episode, we're going to be going over a few different topics.
You should move closer to the mic. You're kind of far.
We're going to be going over a few different topics. First off is going to be about us. So just a little bit of backstory, things that we like, stuff like that. Next off, we're going to go into our story, just how the podcast started, naming of the podcast, so on and so forth. Part one is going to go over the time that we... What are you doing?
Peeling my nail. It was my fault.
The times that we knew that we were Black, some incidents that made us aware of our race. And then to wrap it up, we're going to go... I lied. Not wrapping it up yet. We're going to go into our successes, personal success, and then we're going to end off with Black Card Revoke, which, ironically, is white. Clan member made that.
It was the Black Clan member.
That's
the Black Klansman? Remember that
Yeah,
movie?
I know.
Did you see it?
I did not see that. I do know of a... I don't know.
Black Klansman?
No,
you know
no.
Who
I don't
do you know?
It's Roy. I'm just kidding.
Terrible.
No, but you did hear the guy who like became friends with the clan leader?
Mm-mm.
Who was a Black guy?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Do I know his name? No.
So it's just some Black guy?
Yeah. Serious.
Is he still alive?
Look it up. Hell if I know. He's probably hanging out.
Everyone needs a token Black, even the KKK.
That's sick.
Isn't that sick?
Both of those were sick, actually.
What?
Well, you didn't get it. I'm gonna get really good at that little offense reference. I'm gonna get so good at it. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Look into the camera?
Yeah, look into the camera. About to be like Jim.
Do you think people can hear it when you look into the camera?
Yeah, for sure. They have to. They have to. They're gonna get it. Exactly, Deej. It is white. Also, we're going live on Instagram, so if you're... I know, obviously, this is the podcast, so you're listening in the past. But, for future reference, we should actually make that a thing, where we go live on Instagram, so you guys can talk to us. Right now, we have Neon Deej and Roy in the chat, which is great. So, shout out for you guys. And yes, the podcast... Yes, the box... God damn it, nigga. You get what I'm saying, Deej. That's sick. The box is white. Black Card Revoked. So Maya, why don't you start us off with a little bit?
Yeah, we're doing introductions. This is the first time I've talked since we started. Isn't that
That's
sick?
sick.
That's sick.
It's not how the
Because someone
relationship
just
goes.
wanted to be a chatterbox.
Chatting.
Okay. Yay, my introduction. I'm Maya. I'm the co-host. We're both co-hosts because that's what co-host means,
Sure.
but I'm the co-host, so it makes a difference. A little bit about me, just so you know, to get to know me. I really like math. I'm a little math whiz. Yeah, I'm a Black girl in STEM.
You gotta.
Why didn't you do it? Why
Because
didn't you
I'm not
do
a
the
black.
fist?
I'm not a black girl.
But you
or
can
in STEM,
you can be a Black ally.
So I'm not black.
You're neither if you don't put that fist up. Hey. Yay.
Hey.
Yes, I'm a Black woman in STEM. I'm a cat mom. I have 3 cats. Their names are Dawson, Spot, and Amethyst. I really love Hello Kitty. You can't see it in the background because we're recording in my room. But I have like a Hello Kitty flag hung up. And I really like gaming. I'm a gamer. I do this. And that's me.
Cool. You told him about your cat. You did tell him about your cat names. How old is Dawson?
Dawson is 6. Amethyst is 7. And Spot is like...
Spot is old as hell.
Spot's old as hell.
Spot. Fun fact about Spot. Spot is actually a white cat. And he was actually the founder of the...
The KKK?
Yeah.
That's sick.
It was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Okay.
He didn't fund the KKK. Found the KKK? He wasn't a founder for the KKK, but he definitely says the N word with a hard ER.
You should see. You know, it's funny on the video. We should throw up a picture of Spot with him
That's
being
terrible.
angry.
The thing is, I have
they'll
I have like
understand.
the ugliest picture of Spot to ever exist, imaginable. It's so bad. I don't know why he looks like that. I won't show it because like I
You
want
should, I
people.
think
No,
you
I
should.
want people to
Have a good
believe that
image
I
of him.
yeah be like, oh, what a cute cat. I don't want to throw it up and then be like, put that down.
That's sick. Put it down. Put it down is wild. Yeah, it's crazy. Do you want to reference your gaming channel?
My gaming channel is Maya the Menace. That's my gamer tag. I was just thinking about this today. I wouldn't categorize myself as a cozy gamer because I play games that wouldn't be considered cozy. But I definitely am not playing anything crazy. Like I refuse to play horror. But if you're interested in my gaming stuff, it's Maya the Menace.
Nice. Thanks, Maya.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, cool. So my name's Ali. Little fun facts about me. I did not go to school, unlike the math degree holder here. Well, technically I did, but I did a semester at Rowan University. But when I figured out school was not for me, I decided to go more into business for myself. So I have a few clothing brands. One is being co-founded with Maya, which we'll talk about at a later date. But outside of that, have a few different group chats that I'm in, also for clothing brands. So shout out to those guys, Adi, Adam, Sam, some other people that we work with. Yeah, you guys are pretty cool. So business aside, really into sports. I went to nationals for track. I love playing soccer, FIFA. If you guys play FIFA, don't, because if I come to your house, it's raps.
Why are you showing up at people's houses?
You're right, my fault.
You gotta just stand outside.
And play the game.
I guess.
You know, it's funny. When I was a kid, I actually wanted to have like a, what's it called? The projector outside on the wall, like the outside of the house. No, okay.
To play the
that would
game
be
outside?
Really, yeah, I thought that would be really cool, but practically, it's not really practical. So, yeah. But FIFA, The Last of Us, beautiful game. Fortnite, I play with Maya. Outside of that, I don't really consider myself a gamer, but I dabble. And then, yeah, family, friends. That's pretty much it. I spend my time working, either working, period, like for somebody else, working for myself, or probably with Maya. If not with Maya, then I'll be with my family. So, yeah. You want to go into how the podcast started?
I want to respond to Roy first. He said maybe see one cat, but my cats aren't in the room. They're all the way upstairs, and my room's in the basement. And it would take me so long to find a cat, and also so long to actually get them down into the basement. But just know that they're very cute. Dawson's and cool. Amethyst are tabby cats, and Spot is white, and he has 3 black spots.
Oh, what's up, Adam? Thank you. And The Last of Us Part 2 is sick. Absolutely sick. I'm trying to get Maya to play it. I don't think she will, to be honest. I'm not
playing that game.
But I'm trying. There's some things that just can't be spoken about. The Last of Us, you can explain it. It's like a tag for me. Like, you, as much as I love it, I can't tell you because then I'll spoil it.
But
fair. If you can experience it, damn, it's an experience. It's sick. I'm about to get sponsored by Naughty Dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna email them tonight.
The thing is, I know it's a cool game. Like, I don't doubt that at all. I just refuse to play it because I'm not getting jump scared.
There really isn't that many jump scares.
You don't understand how scary I am.
How scary you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go into the times I've been jump scared because it's actually embarrassing for me. So we can't talk about how the podcast started now.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like you should start because it was your idea first.
So, I don't know if this is technically ironic or not, but it was technically a joke to start a podcast, but it's becoming a reality, which I'm very happy about. So I was so I work as a car salesman. I just started that job. Prior to that, though, I did DoorDash and Spark Delivery, which is essentially like deliveries for Walmart. And I know some of y'all know. Sometimes niggas just have a bad luck, right? Bad financial luck. We'll say that. So when your girlfriend is supportive and she rides in the car with you, that means a lot. So thank you.
Of course.
So we were riding in the car together while I was doing my deliveries, trying to get a little bit of, trying to get paid. And we were listening to,
The book,
yes,
New Jim Crow.
yes, thank you. I wanted to say the miseducation of the Negro, but I knew that was wrong. I was about to throw the whole thing off, whole story off. We're listening to The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, which I was actually re-listening to in the car, and it sparked a very in-depth conversation about how we feel about African American treatment, or how we are treated as African Americans, our experiences, and just the challenges that come with that, the challenges and the benefits, I guess you could say, that come with that. And through our conversation of our experiences, we decided to do something about that. So right now, our vision is to have this be a platform where we can have people come on the show, sort of expand upon their experiences of being Black, something that we can all have some common ground on, and then educate the youth as well, and just be a symbol of positivity.
I also think it started before that, like when you first started the Sublime brand. Because I feel like that was an endeavor that you wanted to, not you wanted to, but you started it individually. And because of like some frustrations with like the art and stuff, that's when I first, that's when I first offered up my help to like do some illustrations. So I really think it started there. And then
so not necessarily to cut you off, but
no, that's fine.
The reasoning for the Sublime brand, which is why I'm grateful that we had this conversation and this idea has grown to what it is becoming, is because I have another clothing brand which I did some terrible math, did not end out well. But in light of that, when I was having a conversation with one of my best friends, Tom, shout out Tom, and he was essentially saying that one of the reasons that endeavor failed was because I didn't necessarily have a real mission or purpose behind it. So when things got, it was sort of just, not to say it was a cash grab, it was a great learning experience, I'm not gonna lie. But I found something that, I found the vehicle, but I found the right vehicle, but the rationale wasn't behind it, if that makes sense. So with this, I started a new brand, and originally it was going to be the concept of continuous evolution. So as a person, always looking to improve yourself, strive for greatness, essentially, to continue getting better. But like Maya said, with the complications with artists, finding a real mission, just general guidance, period, I felt that this was a better endeavor to intake or impart on. I don't know. To have.
Yeah, that's where it started, and then I started doing the art, and then it kind of started like spiraling after that. Like we put together the Instagram, the website. We started looking at into making clothing for the brand, and then I was promoted to creative director. You are now one of my elite employees.
You're not sick? I just saw that. Actually, in the car here, on the car right here.
I was promoted to creative director. How generous and kind. And so with that, I was kind of the brains behind the Instagram. So I was coming up with ideas for the Instagram to really build community and get our message across with spreading positivity and education about the Black community and culture. And one of those ideas that I had was a video series where we talk about our experiences as Black people. And when I was explaining this idea, Ali was like, you know, this would be great for a podcast. And I was like, cool. Okay. Let's do it. And then we had to name the podcast. This was not the original name of the podcast.
It was not.
Um, the original name of the podcast was supposed to be Diary of a Black Person.
Hmm.
And then I believe it was you that you made the joke.
Yeah.
Ali was like, should really call it Diary of a Nigga. I was like, we're not doing that. And he said, hear me out.
Who are we talking to?
Who we talking to?
Niggas.
What are we? Niggas.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You want to talk about our target audience since we kind of brushed on it just now?
Yeah, I mean we're building on like custom avatars. And for those of you who own brands, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't own a brand or a business period, essentially a customer avatar is you building a person exactly of who you want your customer to look like, right? So what they look like physically, like their features, I'll say. Like, so for ours, it's a black man and black woman. They are college grads, or in college rather, around the 18 to 24-year-old range. Their names are Mo and Zamir. They like art, R&B, rap, old school hip hop. They're very creative. And we have like pictures of them on our Canva account as well. So whenever we have like a question to be answered, the question always relates back to Mo and Zamir if they would like this, if they would approve of it, or if it's something that they would like or listen to, essentially. So yeah, we think that Mo and Zamir are niggas. So there we go. There we go. Real ones. Shout out.
And then for our idea, our vision of this podcast, we want to cover topics that are not only educational and inspirational, but also just general fun and entertainment. Because, you know, some things can be real heavy to listen to.
Sure.
And although it's really important to be aware of these things that are happening in the world, it's not the best to always be bogged down with really heavy emotional stuff. So we do want to balance it out with having some fun things. That's why we do have a Black Card Revoke segment, so that we don't always end off like on a real heavy note. We want to end off on a fun note. You know, being happy and proud that we're Black. We don't want to be like, damn,
Things got it rough. Good.
Yeah,
that's a good point. So yeah, those are sort of like the topics we'll be covering. Making sure that it's educational but also positive in some lights as well. So you want me to start with part 1?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I don't want us. Okay. Well, that leads into our first segment. We really want you guys to get to know us first, know our story and like what led us to this point. So we're gonna be talking about when we became Black.
May 2nd, 99. 2:39 a.m. Popped out. You got vitiligo. That's what they said to me.
That's what they said?
I don't understand English.
You had the opposite of what Michael Jackson had, like
True.
Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah. Never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke, but it was gonna be nasty. So no. All right, cool. So what incidents made you aware of your race, Maya? What was sort of like the starting point for you?
I think there were a few incidences. It's
incidents. Yeah, I fucked it up. That's on me for sure. Incidents.
I think there were a few incidents that happened to me in childhood that now looking back on, I can be like, wow, that was racially charged. But at the time, I think I was too young to understand what race was, like the depth of what race was. Obviously, I can look at other kids and be like, yeah, I don't look like them. And we all look different, but I didn't really deep the significance of race. There was this time in elementary school, my mom braided my hair. I think she braided it and pulled it back, or I had cornrows. But I think it might have been cornrows, just based on the incident that happened. And one of the kids, he was white, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you. You look like a boy." because my hair was back, so I didn't have. It was like this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what cornrows look like.
They should.
They should.
They should.
Yeah, and it was off-putting, but like granted I was what, 7, so I didn't
Mm-hmm.
deep anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um Another time, and I feel like a lot of it really comes back to my hair because that's what
Yeah.
really was commented on a lot growing up. Another time I can recall was, oh, I think what really like made me aware of race was like middle to high school. Though I don't think I had my true African American awakening until college.
Mm-hmm.
But in middle school, um, this was really sick. There was this kid that I had a crush on, and
That was her first problem.
that was my
Why are you
first
liking other
problem.
men? Yeah. Yeah, no,
I
let's
was
touch on that. My fault, go ahead. Sorry.
I was sitting in class, and this kid came up behind me, and I couldn't tell what he was doing at first, but because people were looking at me, I turned around, and and my hair was natural at the time, and he was behind me going like this, like that, and that was really
I would have punched the shit out of that nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. 'Cause
well.
that's crazy.
What's sick is that also grade school Maya was really shy. Like I'm not the same person I am now that I was in
Mhm.
school. So I was not standing on business.
Should have shot him.
I was standing on
Shoulda
LLC.
made- Get out the room. Get out the room. That's sick. Wow. That was good though.
Thank you.
That was good.
So that was that
No,
sucked
never mind.
because, and this is how much of an impact it had on me.
Mhm.
After that, I had my mom relax my hair, and it stayed relaxed all the way until senior year of high school. Is when I stopped relaxing my hair, and that happened 6th grade. 6 to 12. That's 6 years.
Yeah.
I kept my hair relaxed because of incidences like that. Incidents like that. This is your fault.
Yeah.
Because of things like that. And then, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, of course. I had something to input, but I didn't want to cut you off or cut your flow off. So you keep going.
I think that was the most jarring experience.
Mm-hmm.
There was also another time in middle school where, and what's sick about this is that my hair was relaxed when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a field trip, and it was one of my friends who said this, and it was raining, and we were on the field trip, and I don't remember the exact exchange that happened, but she had insinuated, actually she didn't even insinuate, she insinuated that I wouldn't want to get my hair wet because, quote, your hair is weird. I was like, that's nuts. And it was sick because my hair was also straight,
Mm-hmm.
but it was weird because I thought having my hair straight would
Alleviate it.
alleviate
Mm-hmm.
the differentness
Mm-hmm.
of it, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I think high school had some really significant times that made me very painfully aware of being Black because I went to a predominantly white high school in a predominantly white neighborhood. Yeah, I didn't want to be doxxed.
My fault. Sick. I was trying to answer Roy's question. Sorry. That's on me.
It's okay, I'll take it out.
All right, cool.
In South Jersey.
Yeah. Bleep it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. There were a lot of things that happened in high school, but okay, I'll go through that. I have a master list on Twitter of every single racially charged thing that happened in my time in
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to bleep it again.
Yeah. That's good. 2 for 2.
2 for 2. But it was a really long list and I can't think of everything, but some of the things that stuck out the most, there was this kid. I remember the exact kid it was. He was an Asian guy and we were in orchestra class and first of all, in my orchestra class there were like 3 Black people. Black girls actually. So I don't think any of them were in the room, and I think I was just walking in
Hmm.
when I overheard this. But he was talking to one of his friends who was Indian, and he said, hey, it was supposed to be a joke. He was like, actually, I don't know. Maybe he did believe it. He was like, you want to know the difference between a black person and an Indian? And she was like, what? And he was like, an Indian's smart. I was like, wow, that's sick. And I was standing right behind him.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing that happened in um orchestra, I was I was getting my stuff, and this girl came up to me like she wanted to say something, but I didn't know this girl, so I didn't say anything. We were just staring at each other, and then she was like, "Oh, I thought you were my stand partner." Turns out her stand partner was just another black girl in the orchestra class.
That's happened to me a few times. Not in that exact situation, obviously, but just being mistaken for somebody, another nigga. Period.
Just for another nigga.
We don't look the same. His hair is short. Wow. God damn. He got 360 waves. He is not me. Me in high school. Please don't put. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let that
So
picture rot.
there was that.
Mm.
Um, there was also another time in English class we were talking about a book that had racial themes in it.
Was it? Was it? Fuck. What's the? That's sick. What's the one? Never mind. I'm gonna just
Is
let
it
it
To
rot.
Kill a Mockingbird?
Yes, yes, yes.
We
That's what it
I
is.
no, I
Ah,
actually
okay.
haven't read that book
That's
before.
like that. We had to read that.
Yeah.
Everybody looked at you when you had to when nigger came up.
Yeah.
Like him.
Him.
Fuck. It's not me.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is a little detour.
Yeah.
A few sessions ago, one of my students,
Mhm.
she had to read a reading. My student is black. She had to read a reading,
Mhm.
and it was about parts of Africa.
Mhm.
And
Oh, Niger.
yes,
Yeah.
she had to say Niger River.
Mhm.
She was like, the nigger river. I said, okay, hold on. Okay. I said, you lucky you're black, but let's fix this.
Yeah. Cut it out right now.
Cut it out.
Sick.
But we had to read a book that had racial themes in it, and I had stepped out to use the bathroom. Actually, now that I'm deeping it, these were all just like stray bullets.
Mhm.
Like I was just like
In the
an
wrong place.
an
Yeah.
afterthought in the drive-by, hit by a stray bullet. I wasn't the one
Okay.
that I wasn't the
You weren't
subject
the
of the
target. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came back from the bathroom.
Mhm.
My teacher was like, "Oh, we're doing discussion groups. You were assigned to the racism group or something like that."
Mhm.
And this one kid was like, "That's a coincidence." I said, "What? What?" There was literally you didn't have to say
no
that.
reason.
There was no reason.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
That's crazy.
And then I feel like I'm going on forever, but
No, you're
like
good.
so much happened in the school district.
Mhm.
And it's not even just me. I put this out publicly, and there were people who also grew up in the redacted school district that commented, and they were like, yeah, this school district and the stuff that happened in this district was so fucked up, and I
Mhm.
remember it to this day.
Mhm.
There was another time,
It's like Montgomery, Alabama,
maybe
in
not
1960.
maybe not all that,
1960.
maybe not, maybe my senior prom,
Mhm.
the theme that was this was the icing on the cake. This is the decorations on the cake, actually. My senior prom, mind you, that the student government has to vote on the prom theme. My senior prom theme voted on was "We the People Will Party Like It's 1776," and the black student body was like, "Hey, man, maybe we're not partying like it's 1776.
Mhm.
I mean, we aren't.
Mhm.
Y'all might be,
Mhm.
but maybe not us." And so a statement had to be put out as an apology, and they fixed, quote unquote, the prom theme by just taking off the ending. So it was just "We the People." But
What was the alternative?
oh, the other things you could vote on was "Under the Sea" to have it at the aquarium, but instead the students just really wanted to party like it was 1776. It was a time they missed.
It was all white men.
What's sick is that there were people of color in the student body.
That's like
They weren't black. Actually, there was one black person in the student body. I remember.
he's the one with the idea.
It was a girl.
It was Uncle Ruckus. No,
It might.
that was Aunt Ruckus.
It was Aunt Ruckus. It probably was her idea. That's sick. But after they changed the prom theme, some of the white students were like, "Oh, you people are so sensitive. You can't do anything these days." Nigga, I would have been in chains at the party.
Yeah. You would have been serving them.
I would have been serving them, spitting in the food. Spitting and shitting in the food.
Both?
Both.
Probably would have liked it.
What?
Yeah, that was my fault.
There were comments about like, tanning comments.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times I've had someone walk up to me after summer and be like, "Oh my, we're almost the same color. Get on my face."
Bitch.
Literally. And the girl, I barely knew her.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Why?
She was proud of her Planet Fitness tan.
Yeah, and it was also in history class, which was sick.
Was it February?
It might have been.
It's like second semester.
Just to drive it home.
So
College is when I had my African American awakening.
Mm-hmm.
After my senior year of high school, I cut my hair off, all of it off, because I decided I wanted to go natural. And I started growing my hair out. I had my teeny weeny afro, and I felt like a real black woman, you know what I mean? And that might sound crazy, but and I'm not discrediting anybody's blackness for having relaxed hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I knew my reasonings for having my hair relaxed, it felt freeing to
Mm-hmm.
be able to embrace
Right.
my natural hair texture. So I was cool for freshman year. I was doing my thing. And then my sophomore year, was it sophomore year or junior year? If it was
You said
2020, it was my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
2020 is when we the whole country shut down, and the murder of George Floyd happened, and that really sparked something in me, like something really powerful, because I remember the exact moment. Like I remember how it played out. Like it was just spreading around on the social media platforms, and I had seen it real briefly on Twitter, and I scrolled past it because I was like, I can't look at this. Like like it just happens. There's just something that happens. It's just the norm. And then like as I was scrolling through Twitter, I was like, you know what? It really shouldn't be. And it's really concerning and scary that I became complacent in that moment. So I went back and I viewed the video, which, side note, is really dehumanizing to just post videos of people dying. And it's a lot of the times it's a black person,
Mm-hmm.
which is really jarring to see after time after time after time again.
Mm-hmm.
So I did watch the video, but after that, I tried my best not to look at it, which was hard because they were also showing it on national television,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy. I remember they were showing it on television, but they didn't give a warning. There was no, this video might be graphic or anything. They were talking about the incident, and then it cut to the video, and I was like, wow, what's going on? I had to leave the room. Okay, that was sidestep.
Mm-hmm.
But that incident really made me angry because of, and that incident sparked a lot of, I can't think of the word, commotion around the police brutality topic and racism as a whole. Racial tensions were really high in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But I think being on social media during that time also spurred those really strong emotions that I was feeling. So that was definitely when my African American awakening happened. After that, I I really wanted to be part of the change, like the resolution,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really big thing to do. And I actually ended up going into therapy because of that whole
Experience.
debacle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just so much to take in mentally, just all the publicity of that murder and everything that was happening and the uproar about it. It was too much. So I ended up in therapy. I had a black therapist, which was great. And I was telling her that like I really want to be part of the movement, but I also am not mentally capable of showing up in the way I want to. Like I didn't have it in me to go to protests.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have it in me to constantly like do call to actions and be up to date with what was happening in the trial because it just was really
Too
draining.
much. Yeah.
It was too much. And my therapist was really supportive. She was like, you know, there are other she said that activism looks different for every single person. And that really stuck with me because I realized that I was trying to be an activist in ways that I saw other people being an activist,
Mm-hmm.
the way that they best um could show up. But I couldn't show up in those ways. So I decided to turn to educating myself on black culture, black history, things that are happening in the world, like police brutality and the justice system and stuff like that. I decided to take up a minor in African American history, African American studies at my school. And that really helped with education and opening my eyes to racial studies and black culture. And whew, wow, I've been talking. That was really that was a big turning point for me. It was 2020, and I feel like that has shaped me into the person I am now,
Mm-hmm.
and has changed my focus to really understand just how powerful and important race is. Um, yeah, that's when I was black. I think it was the year of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I became black,
Mm-hmm. Actively black.
actively
You knew
black.
you were black since sixth grade.
Became a Negro in 2020.
That's sick.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. That's gonna end the podcast. Right there. Yep. We're done. See you guys next week. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So for myself, some incidences that made me aware of my race was, I will say, it's not necessarily as it wasn't as public as yours was. Yours was primarily, and from what I understood, what I heard is that your experiences started off in middle school, and sort of followed you throughout that course. My younger years in school was all homeschool education, so I didn't really get the harassment or bullying from other kids um, about my race or anything like that. Like everybody, obviously, everybody in the house was family, so literally, so we didn't really like harass each other in that light because we all look the same. Okay, too much. Um, but the experiences for me was more so around my parents. So I know my mom first of all will not approve of this. Um, this what's it called? The title of this. She might listen. She might not. If you are, I love you. If you're not, then it is what it is. Um, but yeah, my mom was very heavy into the African American studies and educating us when we were younger. And I know that when we were being taught, she did her best to make it success focused. So we learned about Booker T. Washington, um, obviously Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, people like that. But she focused more so on the scientists and like the educators that were black, and their mentors primarily as well. Like the guy who did Thomas Edison's, like, who created the filament for the light bulb, if I'm not mistaken, he was black. And a lot of people don't really know that, but without his contribution, that wouldn't be a. I mean, we probably have light now, but as early as we did, probably not. Um, so yeah, so it was more so stuff like that. So I know as far as the positive side, my mom was a big influence on that. When it got into the negative side, I intentionally withdrew myself away from it because similarly, um, I can get very emotional and angry about stuff like that, right? So um, seeing it played out on social media, TV, stuff like that, it's definitely traumatizing for sure. So for me, I sort of did my best to just cut it out, point blank, leave it at that, right? And not necessarily acknowledge race, which is crazy because it's really something that the book talks about heavily, is being colorblind. And that's what I intentionally did to myself. I put the blinders on and just we're all human, we're all happy. It's not how the world is. Um, so yeah, that was like the main experience for me. Was more so learning through my mom's perspective of what it was to be black. Um, the main thing for me, well, actually, I won't say that's the main thing. That's the first. The secondary thing that sort of put that in my face was that my dad, when we were, what am I, 24 now? I was probably like 12, I guess, 10 or 12, something around there. But my dad got pulled over at a stoplight or routine, quote unquote, routine traffic stop. You know how fucking cops do. Wait, see a nigga in the car and
They stop them.
it was sick. And granted, I wasn't even there. That's the crazy thing. I wasn't even there for the actual incident, right? But the emotion, my dad is not emotional. Straight face. He cracks jokes, but when it comes to like actual, um, he's not very emotional in that way, right? So when it came to that situation, wow, I never saw my dad so livid or passionate about something so something period, to be honest with you. That was a very crazy incident where I'm sure for a fact he felt like his life was being threatened. And he tried to file a lawsuit. It was going to go to the federal courts. Something happened where it ended up not going that far. And I'm sure if he would like to be a guest on the podcast, he could talk more in depth about it. But just my reaction to his reaction was that that's sort of what sparked that hatred of police for myself, right? Or just authority figures, period, right? Because to have that type of power and dominion over someone, where realistically we're all grown ass men, we're all grown ass adults. Nobody should be telling me what to do or anything. I just it's not comfortable. I don't like that. Um, I feel as a grown adult, I think that we can all make our own conscious choices. Um, and there necessarily shouldn't be an authority figure in that to have that much power and authority over our lives in the way that they do. So that's really what sparked the fear and hatred for me of police. And then to top the icing on the cake was with George Floyd and that incident. Once again, seeing it on TV was very traumatizing for me. Um, Granted, I didn't necessarily do anything about it, but I remember my mom sat us all down. It's me and my three little sisters. Don't think my older brother was there. But me and my three little sisters and my dad, we all sat down at the kitchen table and started talking about race, period. And I remember that I broke out in tears because I felt that I was the way how it's crazy because my life is very I'm very passionate in the way of that I control what happens to me, right? Or like my own destiny. So like the jobs that I have, the successes that I have, like all that type of stuff is premeditated. I think about it before it actually comes into reality. Like it's not necessarily a joke. It's really not a joke at all. But when I say that I manifested you in my life, I'm not trying to be corny, very serious, right? So stuff like that is it's a big focal point for me in my life is that I believe that what I say is gonna happen always eventually ends up happening in that light. So it was a very emotional experience for me seeing George Floyd killed in the way that he was, murdered in the way that he was, not seeing the ramifications of it for the police, for them just being essentially let off the hook, right? Right. Um, and then witnessing that, and then in my mind having that play out for me, right? Like to me, terrible. Um, so that's really like the main thing for me. And I've tried. It's sick because I'm not going to go that deep into it. But I've had experiences where it's been a reoccurring thing for me, and me dying in that light. So obviously, I pray to God that doesn't happen. um, yeah, and I'll leave it off on that. That's what that's what I'm gonna stop. Um, so yeah, so that's my experience as a when I realized I was a black man, a black person in America. So on that note,
I have a question for you
go for it.
because there's definitely time between that incident and when we met,
Mm-hmm.
and so we met on Bumble, and on your profile it said that you were not political,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something that stuck out to me because I think as black people we should, if not if not either choosing like being part of the Democratic or Republican Party, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't hold that much value to that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I'm not fucking with a conservative. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if someone was like, "Oh, I'm not a Democrat," I'm not gonna write it off. But I think that it's important to be knowledgeable at least of politics and what's happening
Mm-hmm.
politically, because
Mm-hmm.
it has such an effect on us. Um, so seeing that you were not political was a little off-putting. So I want to know like what happened in that time period between 2020
Mm-hmm.
when you had such a strong experience because of the George Floyd incident,
Mm-hmm.
to, like you said, your
2023.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
where you had your blinders up and you were like colorblind.
Mm-hmm.
Did that come in as like a coping mechanism for you?
So to answer your question, I don't know necessarily about the coping mechanism from 2020 to 2023, um, but that the non-political was more so what in the light of what you were saying as far as the liberal conservative like that like I when I'm voting I just vote Democrat and leave it at that, or more on the more liberal side and leave it at that. I don't necessarily do research into who I'm voting for, like their politics and stuff like that. Um, but as far as being more knowledgeable about race topics and things along those lines, that's more so where I had the blinders up until then.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next question was, what was it like growing up in a black household?
We can do all three at the same time. They all
Okay.
tie in together.
Where were you raised? Bleep. And how did that affect who you are / who you became?
You can start. You can start.
Okay. So what was it like growing up in a black household? Nigga, we went to church. I hated that shit. Told my mom, literally, when I was like 7, I said, I'm not going anymore. Don't like it. But that's outside of the point. We had, what's it called? Nature's Blessing. Y'all know the, have you ever heard Nature's Blessing? The grease? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Staple. Staple in the house. Niggas are shiny.
Shiny,
Fresh off
glistening.
Glistening, exactly. Forehead, I was sweating. I don't really know outside of that how to really answer that question. What was it like growing up in a black household? I mean, it's sick, and this isn't necessarily, it's not race based. But y'all ever had Frosted Flakes and water?
Tell us where you were raised.
My dad likes Frosted Flakes and apple juice.
Are you serious?
We gotta bleep their names out, but yeah, so serious. That's
Nah, I got a bone to pick with them. That's horrible.
I want to talk struggle food, nigga. We had it bad.
That's terrible. The next time I see them,
You gotta bring that as a gift for Christmas.
I'm bringing the apple juice and the Frosted Flakes.
I love it. I
That's
preferred
terrible.
water.
I'd like milk.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if it's an option. It's just, what is it, $3.99 now? I don't know. It's a protein milk.
That's
Where
terrible.
were you raised? I was raised in Trenton, New Jersey. I remember our backyard. First of all, well, that's a whole. It's not even that deep. I had a turtle. He ran away. Our backyard is not that big. I don't know where he went. I remember playing tag on the street. We used to play um, tag, kickball, baseball. Some actually we used to play football a lot. Not necessarily baseball, but football was fun because niggas couldn't catch me. There was this one tomboy, looking for the politically correct word. Um, she wasn't fast, but if she hit you, goddamn, niggas went out, bro. I was sick, out of breath. God, yeah, she hit hard. Um, but yeah, how did that affect how I was raised? Or how I was raised affect who I became? Um, I think how it affects who I became is that I'm very adaptable to different people. So like I said, I was homeschooled the majority of my education. I went to private school briefly as well for um sixth grade. Yeah, for sixth grade, I went to private school. Um, but in that light, being raised in Trenton, going to private school, and then being thrown into high school, essentially, I'm very adaptable to different people. So if you're watching this, I have a quarter zip on and a white collar, some khakis and boots on, Chelsea boots, black Chelsea boots. Um, I work in car sales. Very adaptable. I can change my tonation or my language to fit whoever I'm speaking to, which is why I feel really helps me in sales. So if it's a white guy coming in,
Howdy.
you know,
Gosh darn it.
gosh darn it, you're on thin ice, pal. You better sign this nigga, sign this contract, nigga. If it's a black guy, we're chilling. Um, yeah, it's just really adaptable to whoever I'm speaking to. So I feel like that's really how that affected who I became. That's really it. What about you?
I was raised in South Jersey in a predominantly white neighborhood, South Jersey, that I will not disclose because I still live here. Um, and that affected me because it was weird because I was always the minority
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a lot of black friends because there weren't a lot of black people around. Um,
Can I cut in real quick?
Go ahead.
In private school, sixth grade, there was me and one other nigga. His name was. He could probably bleep his name out, but he was weird. So that's the sick part. Weird as
That's
hell.
sick.
Us too.
That's
Old
terrible.
school. Yeah, it was terrible. Yep.
Yeah, so um
Felt like
no, go ahead. Say it.
felt like Ruby Bridge.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh man, good
Um
times. Well, not really good. Okay, sorry. That's
it was
my fault.
it was weird because I was always outnumbered and
Mm,
people were always talking crazy, and because I was outnumbered, I didn't feel comfortable speaking up
mm,
about people talking crazy.
mm,
Um so and this is really weird how it like goes into this, but now that I'm grown and I can surround myself with people that look like me, like either through the internet or just from college
mm,
and work too. Um, I feel more confident in my identity, and almost every day I wish I cussed some people out back then.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because they deserved it.
mm.
What was it like growing up in a black household? It was fun. Church wasn't fun.
I hit a church, so.
Um, Religion wasn't that deep in our house.
Mm,
I mean, it was there. You know what I mean? Like, I have a black Christian mother, but it wasn't as forced. it wasn't enforced as much as it could have been. Like once we hit like 18, my mom was like, y'all have free will, so you can really do and believe what you want. These are just my beliefs, so have fun, I guess. You know what I mean? Um, my parents are very supportive of me and my siblings. I have two younger siblings, a brother and a sister. They're very supportive in everything that we do. They're very open-minded and accepting, which I think is beautiful. And I don't think, and granted, I don't know how new age parenting is, but I feel like for a lot of old heads, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I feel very lucky to be like, my parents are very accepting of who I am and who my siblings are and what we choose to do with our lives. And they're very respectful to us, like the way they talk and the way they raised us. I didn't get hit a lot.
That's sick.
I was popped a few times, you know what I mean? But it wasn't enough to like inflict trauma, you know? I might be traumatized. So let me not even say that. I don't know what getting popped has done to me. But it wasn't enough that I can like recall a certain beating that I got. Okay, I just brought back some memories.
Bro, hear me out. And you know what's sick is that my dad does not remember this, right?
That's sicker.
That is sick. And well, I'm not gonna go into his dad. But so when I was younger, my mom specifically used to call me Bojangles. Do you know why?
Because you're black.
Okay, possibly. There's definitely an add-on to that for sure. But I would always have change in my pocket, right? So when I would walk, it would always be like that. Right? Like niggas knew when I was coming. Not niggas isn't my mom. Never mind.
Sick.
Sorry if you're listening again. But people always knew when I was coming around, right? Because I always had change in my pockets.
We still know when you're coming around. You just demonstrated.
Okay.
It's jingling.
Jangling.
Still Bojangle.
That's terrible. But so going back into business, when I was younger, living in Trenton, me and my sister had we had a front porch, but on our front porch we would sell like candy, snacks, like water, especially like during the summer. It's like all our neighbors, they would come around, buy stuff. We had this really cool old head, Mr. Andy. If he's alive, shout out. If you're listening, shout out. But yeah, he would always come by and support too. He was a little crazy, but that's when entrepreneurship started. That being said, I always had money, period. All right, when I was younger, me and my sister always had some type of either bills or change on us, right? So what was sick is that because of that, my mom called me Bojangles. And when I was younger, there was an incident in which I probably like for a week, 2 weeks, my dad upstairs in his room, he had a glass jar full of change, right? And it had a few bills in there. I don't know what he was saving for, but for whatever reason, I felt the need to steal from my dad. Whew. Jeez. Bad call.
I believe it.
All I'm gonna say is that I woke up in the middle of the night. Belts. Crazy. Whew. Hurt. I promise you, the worst beating I ever got in my life. And I won't ever get beat again. Period. Right?
You don't know that.
Not like that by a belt. Yeah, all right. Niggas gonna have to die on that. But yeah, that was traumatizing for sure. And I brought it up to him a few years ago. He doesn't remember, but I remember for sure. And the thing is, I couldn't fucking walk. It was sick.
That is sick.
Sick. I was in bed. I was in bed. It hurt. Yeah, bad times. But he's cool now.
That's sick.
Love Dad. But yeah, I never stole again. I can promise you that. Be damned. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have an incident like that.
Yeah.
My parents were very uplifting. They always made us feel proud about being black.
Mm-hmm.
And they never had us like like mute our blackness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I said my mom was the one that relaxed my hair, but I also requested it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on me.
Yeah.
I really could have stopped at any time, but I decided to keep going with it until
Yeah.
end of high school. Um, my dad's really big in standing up for yourself. He's really big on that. So he taught me that. And it's funny because I feel like it's a common experience to butt heads with your parents at some point or another.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a period of time, and it was mainly throughout high school, where I was butting heads with my dad. And it's really sick because he was the one that taught me to stand up for myself. And so I would talk back to him because that's what he taught me. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't think he ever like punished me or like raised his voice at me for talking back to him. I think it just had to do with what I was saying. He was never like, "Oh, don't talk back to me," because also that wouldn't have made sense, and I would have talked back again and be like, "No, that doesn't make sense." So he actually never like discouraged that. I mean, granted, he would talk crazy to me talking crazy, then I would talk crazy back.
Mm-hmm.
But he never discouraged me from standing up for myself, and I really appreciate that because I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like some black staples that happened in our house.
Just to add on to what I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
my dad is not like that now. So
I know.
I know that you know,
Oh, okay.
but I want to acknowledge his coming around because he's done a lot of personal work.
Mm-hmm.
It is not that I was abused when I was a kid. That's not what I'm saying. It was a singular incident.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my parents are also very supportive in that. Like, because you were talking very positively about your parents, I
Mm-hmm.
felt the need to acknowledge that my parents are also good parents,
Mm-hmm.
and not just put them in. Well, I didn't really put any negative light on my mom, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I can't really think of anything that sticks out about being black aside from like getting my hair done.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm Afro Latina. My dad is Honduran. So I also feel like that goes into it because there are traditions from Honduras that we do from my dad's side, like food wise. And then there's like the full black experience from my mom, who's from Baltimore, Maryland. So, yeah,
So,
black nigga.
that's it.
And if you see this, I said it, and I love you, but you know what you are.
We're coming for you. Right.
Yeah. I also, because I'm black and I was in a predominantly white area, know how to code switch very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something you learn.
I have my corporate voice for when I'm at work, when I'm talking to the whites, and I have my nigga voice, which I'm talking to you with. You know why?
Hear me out. Might have some little light, some little idea.
Oh yeah, but that's what it was like growing up black for me.
Mm-hmm. So you want to touch on your successes, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. You started the last segment.
Cool.
But I attended the College of New Jersey for undergrad, and I love that school. And this is not propaganda. This is not propaganda, but I really did enjoy my time at TCNJ. I majored in applied mathematics, so I was in the math department. I really love that department. The best people there. That's for the TCNJ
That's
math
a gang
department.
sign.
No, it's a heart.
Somebody call the police.
Yeah,
Affiliated.
I achieved so much at TCNJ, and I think it has a lot to do with the people that I met there and my professors. Shout out Dr. Mizahara. You're a real one. He supported me so much throughout TCNJ. He was my research advisor. We did a great research project that I actually won a really prestigious award for. I won the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, the NSF GRFP, which is really prestigious. I think there's only 1,300 winners in the country each year. You get funded to go to grad school. Uh, so you get a stipend, and then the school that you attend also gets money. Um, so I won that award, which was so great.
Mm-hmm.
And
What'd you tell him?
what did I tell who?
School.
The school? So when I was applying to school, or rather I was getting responses back to my applications, and I got accepted into Florida State University for their biomathematics PhD program. And so the timeline was I applied to the GRFP, I got the acceptance from FSU, then I won the GRFP. And because the school that I attend also gets money from the GRFP, I used that to my advantage and I messaged FSU and I said, listen, I'm her now. I'm her. Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do now? Because I'm Big Baller. And because I'm Big Baller, they awarded me a second fellowship for winning the first fellowship. So now I'm a 2-time fellowship winner. Mm-hmm. Because of this project that I did with Dr. Mizahara. It is tough. And I feel like my love of mathematics, I know my love for mathematics is because of the staff from the math department at TCNJ, because I went into TCNJ in math because I was good at it. So naturally, I'm just going to do what I'm good at. Mm-hmm. But I remember the specific incident I had. Now I'm just rambling. But I had this incident in sophomore year or freshman year. It was my second semester of freshman year. It was Calculus B. And I had a professor that was really adamant about helping his students succeed. And I would show up to office hours regularly because I wasn't doing well. And he would take his time and go over the material with me and make sure I got it. He didn't rush. He didn't judge me for not knowing the material that well. And I passed. And it was just, and he was so happy that I passed too. He congratulated me when he would give me back my test and I did well. And it was just such a personable experience that, seeing how much he loved math and how much he wanted his students to do well mm-hmm. was so heartwarming. And I was like, this is amazing. And this department is amazing because so many of the professors in that department are like that. It just feels like a great place to be. Mm-hmm. It's really friendly and oh my gosh, I love them. Okay. Anyways, after TCNJ, I went to FSU in Tallahassee, Florida, which is such a jump from South Jersey. I had to pump my own gas.
It's nasty.
What do I look like pumping my own gas? But I went.
Hit a Wawa.
You know what's sick? There's no Wawa in Tallahassee.
No, I know.
Not in Florida.
Oh, really?
There's Wawas in Florida. There's no Wawa in Tallahassee.
Can't afford it. Too busy. They had an alligator fund. Went to catching alligators.
But I went down to Tallahassee, and I went to FSU for a few months. I finished the first semester, and then the second semester, yeesh. Life was hitting.
Hit never mind.
Crack cocaine in the 80s.
That's sick.
Which is something we'll probably talk about.
We probably will.
Yeah, life was really lifing. There was a lot of stuff happening with family, and then eventually someone passed away in my family, which was really difficult to continue my education. And grad school is hard. It's hard and it's taxing because not only do you have school, you also have to be a teacher. That's what you get paid to do. The stipend for being in grad school, you teach classes. And if you don't, then you have to pay for classes, which I'm not doing. So, it's a lot. And going through that while mourning, it was too much. And it was to the point I was failing my assignments. And I'm not one to fail my assignments. That's never happened to me before. So it was bad. I was on the plane back from the funeral doing my homework.
That's sick.
It was sick. Like funeral, have
Yeah.
to go back home on the plane doing my homework. Failed the homework. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I decided to drop out and take a break. I would really like to continue my grad studies, but I really need to recalibrate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my academic successes. Personal successes. I'm a YouTube partner. Yeah. What about it? Yeah.
And Twitch.
And a Twitch affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My the Menace. I be gaming, and I love gaming, and I'm very happy for the community I built over such a short period of time. I think it was a year in November, this past November,
Nice.
and we have 2,095 menaces, which is so beautiful, and I love them so much. So I'm really proud of that and them.
Cheddar.
Yes, hey Cheddar. So that's great. Yeah, that's all from me.
Very nice. Just for everyone who doesn't know, Cheddar is one of Maya's most loyal subscribers or friends. I don't really know how Twitch works, but she's always, or they are always in the stream whenever Maya's recording. So shout out Cheddar.
Yeah, they were he was a fan for a year
Mm-hmm.
because they just showed their birth. No, their follow age. I mean, sorry.
I think it was born yesterday.
No, their follow age is
Mhm.
like a year and then some. So
Mhm.
they've been there since the beginning.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Of course.
For myself, like I said, I didn't necessarily finish school. I went to Rowan University for a semester. It's rough. I am not the best at math. I love science though. But my successes are primarily in business. So like I said, with my previous endeavor, I hit 25. And granted, this was my first time. Like I know I said that I did business previously when I was younger, or entrepreneurship when I was younger, selling stuff. And I've had a lot of experience in sales. I started off in door-to-door sales for a while. I was one of the top reps there. And then went into merchant cash advances up in New York City while I was selling in on Wall Street, literally on Wall Street. I was sick.
That's cool.
Bro, literally. So I had an apartment up in North Jersey. I would drive to the train, take the path over into New York, and then walk maybe like 10 minutes from the path to the office. One of the top floors. That's also why I want the apartment with the big ceiling windows. Man, it was beautiful. It was sick.
I don't think I ever told you this. I got a interview with a company that was on Wall Street.
Nice. That's sick.
This was
recent?
No, this was a while ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
As in, like, I don't know if
Could have met there.
I don't think we met yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it was around that time.
Mhm.
I was looking for a job.
Mhm.
But also, I'm not taking the commute from here
Oh yeah, for sure.
all the way to Wall
Yeah,
Street
that's
and
reckless.
back every
Yeah.
day. It was sick though, because
That's
that would have been
reckless.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's nice that you had that experience.
Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I love that. It was my first telecommunications job. I was selling business to business, so selling loans to different businesses, cash advances, lines of credit, just different financial products. And I was very successful there too. I literally started off. I followed the number one rep, like shadowed him for maybe like 2-3 days, if even. Hopped on the phones, beat that nigga. He actually ended up quitting, ironically, which is it's terrible.
It was because of you.
It might have been. I'm not gonna lie. His name was Dennis. But if he's, I mean, I don't know where he's at, what he's doing now. This was a while back, 2 years ago. But yeah, beat him. He wound up quitting. He was the number one rep there. They had bonuses. I was getting paid there, bro. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That sounds beautiful.
But yeah, I ended up moving back home because the lease ran up. I was living with a previous coworker at the time. So our lease ran up. I ended up coming back down to South Jersey. And in light of that, I picked up a job at Joseph Bank, which it's sick because, like I said, I have a lot of experience and success in sales. And at that store, they don't pay you commission.
Mhm.
So once again, number one rep there, but I'm not getting paid like I'm getting $15 an hour. Fuck this. And then I told them I was gonna quit because it was summer. First of all, one thing with me is I don't like not having my own time. So if I want to go outside, nigga, I want to go outside. It's that simple. And if fucking constrained to this position where I'm getting paid 15 an hour when I'm bringing in thousands of dollars. I'm not getting paid like I am. Fuck you. So I ended up quitting. And I texted him that I was gonna quit. I gave him 2 weeks notice, right? It was probably like a week and a half, but 2 weeks notice.
Mm-hmm.
And on the day where I said I wasn't coming in, he said, "You're fired." I said, "Nigga, go go the fuck to hell."
That doesn't make sense.
He pissed me off. Fuck you. He's lucky I forget his name because I would tell everybody to go kill him. But
That's terrible.
Sick because he was black too.
That's terrible.
But yeah, so fuck Joseph A. Banks. What else? Oh, and in light of getting fired, I decided to work for myself again. So that's where the entrepreneurship sort of came back full circle. And I was like, you know, Ali, you've been doing this for a while, making money for other people. Why don't you go make money for yourself? So that was, I left that in February, March. I don't know. By April, May, June, I was hitting $20,000 a month in revenue. Granted, like I said, I fucked the math up. Needed your help. Needed your help. But I hit 20K in revenue for 3 months with my clothing brand. And that was due to Facebook ads, which I, once again, messed up. Learning experience. I'll make sure I get it right this time around. But yeah, that's like my main accolade, my main successes in sales and business, period. So yeah. And then sports, like I said, I was the number one athlete in my school, and granted this was high school. I'm not gonna take away from that because I wasn't at Rowan for a while, but I also did run track for Rowan. Did that. Volleyball we play recreationally. Soccer I love. That's really it.
Nice.
Anything that requires speed, I'm there. So
Nice.
thanks.
Well, we gotta wrap it up.
We do.
But this is our last segment for the episode, and then we'll be done our first episode. Isn't that exciting?
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna play a few cards of Black Card Revoked. I don't know how many cards we're doing.
The
like,
first one's gonna say, "Have you ever had Frosted Flakes with apple juice?"
Are you done? Answer the question. What else can you get done in a check cashing place? A. Pay your electric bill. B. Buy food stamps. C. Send Western Union. D. Buy a lottery ticket. I feel like this precedes our time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know for a fact my parents know the answer. I have not struggled like that personally.
I don't know
A check?
what this means.
A check? Yeah, no. That's
I don't. Yeah.
Nigga, I don't know how to write a check.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
That's
I don't know how
sick.
to write a check.
I actually don't know. I mean, I would hope you can't pay your
probably-
electric bill
It's
at
probably
a
buy a lottery ticket.
Probably. You can buy a lottery ticket
Dude,
at a
What's
Walmart.
the answer?
This is majority rules. There's no right answer.
Oh.
Do you want a correct answer?
Yeah, let's do the correct answer.
Okay, well, I'll read it and then you have to do
Okay.
the answer because I already know the answer.
Okay.
Answer the question. What year was interracial marriage legalized in the
Nigga.
U.S.?
I don't know.
We have to cover
What
it.
question is that?
We have to cover it. You ready?
What year was was
This-
interracial?
Marriage legalized in the U.S. There's multiple choice. Does that help? Okay.
The answer C.
Okay. A. 1964. B. 1952. C. 1973. D. 1967.
C.
C. 1973.
That's all I know.
It's wrong.
That's good to hell.
It's
That's all we
D.
got.
D. 1967.
Realistically, who knows that?
I'm sure there's one person listening right now that knows that.
Yeah.
Good for you. I know you got it right. You want to do a majority? Let's do 5.
What's that? 1 or 2?
That was
Are
2.
you counting the first one?
Yeah.
You want to correct the answer or the majority rules?
Either. You can. It's up to you.
You know it's sick. You're probably gonna get flamed if you get this wrong.
Is it correct answer?
It is.
Okay.
Answer the question. Jerome from Martin is a player from A. Detroit, B. Harlem, C. Chicago, D. The Himalayas.
What's sick is I've never watched Martin before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Detroit. A.
Himalayas.
Are you serious?
So serious. Read the card. So we're gonna have to name this
Player
podcast.
from the Himalayas?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yep. The new name of this podcast is Diary of a Cracker. The niggas don't know the answers. I don't know. Obviously. What?
That's 3 for 3.
Every question we get wrong, we have to take a letter out of nigga. We can't say it anymore.
Every single question we get wrong, we have to bleach a patch of skin.
That's sick. Of your choice.
Of your choice. All right, correct answer. Answer the question. What does the word thought stand for?
Oh, that
A.
over there.
A. Twerking hoes on tempo. B. Toxic hoes of tomorrow. C. That hoe over there. D. Temporary hoe on time.
Temporary hoe on time. They're late. Number one, so they make sense.
That's me.
That hoe over there. That's terrible.
You know what's sick? My brother called me a thought one time.
That's terrible.
Hey, what's sicker is that it was in front of my mom.
Did she know what it meant?
Yes. She said, hey, what's going? Cut it out. I said, Mom,
That's sick.
help. Say something. Beat his ass.
Nigga. According to mom, I don't even know.
Is this correct answer or
Mhm.
majority?
Yeah,
Okay.
same way. According to mama, what does it mean if your ear keeps itching? A. You need to wash. B. Someone is talking about you. C. You need to see a doctor. D. You're about to fall in love.
It means someone was talking about you.
Ooh, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really knew that, or it was a guess?
I heard that card before.
Next question.
That was 5.
No, you don't know.
We have to do another one?
You read it before?
I knew that one before. I played this game before.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're excited for this journey.
We'll be posting on Sundays. So
Church
Sunday, after you're done being a child of God, you can come be a nigga.
Call it Nigga Sundays.
Nigga Sundays.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Diary of a We hope our conversation sparks some thought, reflection, and inspiration. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here though. Keep amplifying Black voices in our communities.
Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to the channel so you know when we post. Follow us on Instagram at The Sublime Few for more informative content. And leave a review wherever you listen to our podcast.
Until next time, stay curious, stay learning, and stay unapologetically Black.